Hello, I'm here with my MT225E tractor. And this tractor, today, what I'm looking at is this fuel filter right here. It's a cellulose filter, 37 or 35 micron nominal. I don't think it's good enough given the fact that we have 2 micron filters on a lot of different diesel engines. So I figure if I replace this with a better quality filter, it will improve the life of my fuel system, my injector pump up here, and the injectors in the engine. So what I'm going to do is replace this with a 2 micron nominal filter. And I'm just looking at the fuel system here. It's kind of interesting. It has a couple different returns. There's a return coming off of the top of the filter here. There's a supply going up here to the fuel pump here, and then there's another return. Got 2 different returns going back to the fuel tank here, and then there's one return up at the top for the injectors. So it's redundant, but you know, that's the way they designed it. So I'm gonna copy what I have here with the new filter. First, I want to check the fuel pressure just to see. I don't expect it to be much above 1 or 2 psi because everything's going up a return back to the tank, so you've just got a little bit of height to produce pressure. Obviously they don't want much pressure on this filter here. So I'm gonna put in my pressure gauge right now. Okay, I got my meter put in there, my fuel pressure meter, but first discovery, I need to get a glycerin filled meter because I'll show you. I'll start it here. See? You can see the needles all over the place. I can't tell the average pressure there. It's even worse when the motor's running, so I'm going to order a glycerin filled meter and resume this job. Okay, I got my good glycerin filled gauge on here now, and when I turn on the fuel pump, you can see it runs about 2 psi, and it pretty much stays there. I'll start it up. So there's our baseline. Now I'm going to install the new filter, and we'll see how it looks with the better filter on it. Okay, back again, and I've removed the fuel filter, and I had to temporarily loop back the return lines because I had fuel leaking out of those, and then I capped off the fuel line from the fuel pump. And I wanted to show you I made this little mount out of a couple pieces of flat bar, and that's going to isolate the new filter from the engine. It's much heavier than the old one, so I didn't want to use the engine mount. It didn't look strong enough, so I went ahead and attached it to the frame here, and now I'm going to mount the filter and do all the plumbing. Now here, if you want to see it, here's the filter I took off. You can see it's plastic. That's what was mounted on there with a 12mm bolt. And you know, apparently the manufacturer says this is adequate, and it does work. It's like I said before, it's a 35 micron nominal filter. I'm not real happy with that for a fuel system. I think it will last longer if I have a better micron filter on there. So I purchased this filter. As you can see, it's quite a bit bigger. This filter is designed for a 5.9 liter Cummins, and it has a 2 micron nominal rating. It's quite a bit bigger, so I think because of the extra surface area, it's not going to create too much back pressure, but we'll see. That's one of the reasons I got the valve. It has a nice little 1/8 inch port here for the the gauge. One of the things, I got this super cheap on eBay. One of the things is these ports were tapped M12, so I had to re-tap them to quarter 20 NPT threads. Just FYI, if you're buying something like this. The mount came with the filter. I painted it blue with this tractor paint I got from Tractor Supply. It's a Ford blue. It actually matches pretty closely, and it reminds me of my old Ford tractor. So I'm gonna get this filter mounted, and then we'll see if the thing works. Okay, it's on there. Now what I'm going to do is run this fuel pump a little bit and let the fuel drain out of the filter for about a pint of fuel to make sure any impurities are taken out. So here's what it looks like from this side. Now, one thing you might want to make note of is the intake of the filter and the outlet going to the high pressure pump. Those are 5/16 inch fuel lines, and the return, which I have hooked up right, which will hook up right here, that's a 1/4 inch fuel line. So just something to keep in mind. Both returns are 1/4 inch. The in and out of the filter are 5/16. So now I'm going to turn on the motor and or turn on the fuel pump and drain this out a little bit. And away we go. Oh, hey, don't drop that. Take it all to fill up. And there it is. Impurities cleared out of the filter. Next I'll hook up the fuel lines and get this thing fired up. Okay, it's all hooked up. One thing I need to correct myself is that the return lines on here and here are both 3/16 inch lines. They're not 1/4, as I said before. And the two other lines that supply in and out of the filter are 5/16. All right, so now I'm going to turn on the pump here. You can see we're at about 2 psi like before. Let's start it up. So there it is, all done. Went from 35 microns to 2 microns. I'm thinking that that's going to help my fuel pump last, but time will tell. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.